Welcome to Create Your Own Reality, a show about hope, inspiration, and encouragement. A program that will feature guests and topics that may inspire you to think about what is real and how you can create miracles in your life. Your host, Badish Lang. Thank you for joining us on Create Your Own Reality. I'm your host, Badish Lang, and my special guest is Robin Hart, a board-certified hypnotherapist and founder of A New Perspective Hypnosis. Our topic is creating positive change. Robin Hart and I are both certified hypnotherapists, and it is the intention behind this show to open people's eyes to the truth about hypnosis, as it is a process that can transform someone's life in a short period of time. Welcome to the show, Robin.
Thanks, Badish.
Now, I understand that you're also certified in rapid eye therapy and NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And I was wondering, what was it that called you to become a hypnotherapist?
Well, I would have to say that I started on my journey from the inside out. And so I worked with a mentor of mine and worked on different issues and processes and had huge shifts. And even further back than that, I started using hypnosis CDs, and I used it for childbirth.
Wow.
And I also used it for just making deeper changes. In my own marriage at the time, I was wanting to work on enhancing my love in my life.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought about that, but that would be a good tape or a good CD,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
absolutely.
So let's describe what is hypnotherapy.
Well,
What is it?
hypnosis is a process that we move in and out of on a natural level every day. When we're a little child, we experience hypnosis because we're in a bit of an altered state. So you can move from a light state into a deeper state through the process of progressive hypnosis. But on a daily basis, we'll move in and out of hypnosis. For instance, when you're driving your car and you're just deep in thought and you drive an automatic pilot, well, you end up using that part of your mind. You're driving the car without thinking about it. That's a state of hypnosis.
Right. Well, that would be what we'd call the alpha state. And most people don't realize that they fall into this when they're watching television, when they're getting a massage and lose track of time. Daydreaming is another level of that.
Right.
I've got a list of them here. And I would say that listening to the radio and you hear a song and immediately it flips you back into time. So our natural state is basically a beta. So right now we're in a beta state, which means conscious.
Right.
Okay, so then when we go to the alpha state, we're in that more of that dreamlike state. Okay, and we do that automatically. It's a brain wave function, and we do it unconsciously. Correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So how does hypnosis work? And here's the question that goes with that one. And is it safe? People want to know, is it safe?
Well, I always start with the consultation with my clients so I can answer any questions and learn more about what's going on for them.
Yes.
In my practice, I'm always looking for the root cause of what's underneath the issue.
Yes.
It's not really about the smoking or the weight loss or the anxiety.
Exactly.
It's more about what's triggering that underneath. And all the experiences that we've had in our life go with us. And they have that saying, wherever you go, there you are. So we might be able to push it down, but it tends to bubble back up, or we tend to attract in relationships, and we want to go into a new relationship, and we think, okay, well, I'm just going to get a better spouse or partner. What ends up happening quite often is that we're attracted to the same type of person because we haven't dealt with the issues. So when you're dealing with an issue like stop smoking or weight loss, I'm always listening in between the lines to see what's going on. I'm observing with the NLP. I'm observing their body language. I'm listening to the story. I'm also reading their physiology.
Yes.
And so I'm able to take that information and then use it in the hypnosis session.
Well, let's explain a little about the conscious mind, then the subconscious mind, and then the super subconscious mind, and then, of course, the four are the the beta, the alpha, the theta, and the delta. And delta is asleep. We go to sleep in a delta state, and we
Right.
really need so many hours of delta brain waves in order to feel refreshed in the morning. But when you're operating in hypnosis, you're operating between the alpha and the theta state, and theta being the deeper state, reaching into I would say the deeper subconscious mind. Correct?
Right. So it starts with relaxation. And I always send my clients home with a CD so they have an association with the sound of my voice.
Yes.
So, like when you hear a song, it will take you back.
Yes.
Or you have a smell that takes you back to a memory. There's a positive association with relaxing and the sound of my voice. And then I design the hypnosis to the client ahead of time. And then when I'm done with that, they lie down and I put some headphones on them, and sometimes I'll use the hypnosis glasses to help move them into that theta state. And basically, it's just a deep state of relaxation. The deeper they relax, the deeper their mind will move in. What happens is that critical mind goes into the background,
Yes.
and that subconscious mind moves forward. And they're aware of everything that's going on, and they're always in full control.
Well, I'd like to say that people need to understand that they don't lose control, they actually gain control in some aspect of their life where they don't have control. And even when they're in a hypnotic state, they're still in control. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes people that I've worked with will go into a hypnotic state, and it's so comfortable, and they're so relaxed, and they wake up and they go, "You didn't hypnotize me. I didn't feel hypnotized." And what I like to put in there is something like them counting from, I'll tell them to count from 1 to 10 and leave out 7. And so like tapping that in. And then when they wake up and they say that to me, then I have them count from 1 to 10, and they will always miss the 7. And then of course, you correct that before they leave. But something that gives them an understanding that, yes, indeed, they were hypnotized. And that always sort of blows their mind that they can't get that 7. Because I'll ask them to count again and again, and they keep missing that 7. Do you do something like that?
I don't do that. What I do is what's called a convincer while they're in hypnosis, where I'll let them go ahead and test their eyes just to prove to themselves how deeply relaxed they are. And I'll just suggest that their eyes are too heavy to open, or they can test their arms. And that's a convincer, and they see that it's so. But the key is they have to want it. They're the one that's allowing the suggestions in. And so I always really reinforce that idea so they understand that they're always in full control. I can't make them do anything that they don't want to do.
That's why we could say it's safe.
Absolutely.
Hypnosis is safe because they are always in control. Okay. So what are some of the areas that hypnosis is used for?
Well, I do a lot of stop smoking and weight loss. I really enjoy the weight loss because I get to spend more than one session with them, and we can get down to more of the root cause of what's going on. Anxiety, panic attacks, self-esteem. I'm working with a couple adopted children who have some post-traumatic stress and some emotional issues that are bubbling up now that they're getting a little bit older. You name it. Actually, anything that area of your life where you're feeling blocked and you don't seem to be able to shift it yourself,
Right.
then this is a good tool.
Well, in your experience, when you're working, I'm going to come up with a couple examples. When you're working with someone to stop smoking, how many sessions is average for them to have to actually produce a result for them?
Well, it really depends on the individual and the therapist, because we all have our basic format, but we do it the way we believe is the most comfortable and what the client needs. I do an in-depth case history. I'll do anywhere between 1 and 3. But if they've experienced hypnosis before and they know that they go deep, then 1 is plenty. I get good results with 1 even. So
What are some of the reasons that people smoke?
Well,
the emotional, the emotional
They're
aspect.
self-medicating. They're soothing. It's very grounding. And some people say it's their best friend.
Oh.
It goes with them everywhere. They've done it for so long, it's become a part of them, like an appendage.
Yes. What about a big one is weight loss? And we know that hypnosis doesn't work for everyone, but back to that statement that you made is hypnosis basically is as a state of mind when someone comes through that they trust you and they really want it. I mean, they really want.
That's the key.
Yeah, yeah.
They have
So
to
with
really
weight
want
loss, what are some of the things that you've experienced around that issue?
Well, quite often women that I've worked with have had some sort of sexual abuse or inappropriate touch. They're wanting to protect themselves. They've put weight on for a purpose. And so that's the thing, is that we need to make sure that if we take that away, that they don't start doing something else, that it doesn't just shift, that we're able to do some healing and diffuse the emotional charge of whatever has gone on in their life. So sometimes I'll do it in NLP, is called timeline therapy. In hypnosis, it's called regression.
Yes. Yes.
To go back to the original cause and have their subconscious mind take us to a time where they felt a similar feeling. So it might be something that they're consciously aware of, but it could be something that they wouldn't even think is related to their
Exactly.
issue.
Yeah. Well, I think it's wonderful that you're able to give that individual type of spin on it, so it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. People need to understand that. It's intimate about them. Also, that they are going to have a CD of some kind that's going to reinforce their experience to end a habit or to intensify something that's very, very positive, like self-esteem or that sort of thing. Yeah.
And there's always self-esteem involved with weight loss issues. Yeah.
Yes. Do you have a case that you could talk about where you could share with us something that was sort of an experience that you had with a client that was like so wonderful for you to, where they really took it and ran with it?
One of the cases that I'm the most proud of is a woman that came to me because she had a compulsive disorder, and she really had an issue with cats, and in particular cat boxes. And so we did several sessions with hypnosis and NLP, and I also used some rapid eye. Not all at once. They're all different sessions.
Yes.
And she was able to, well, she got to the point where she was able to hold a cat in her lap and pet it at a friend's house. But this was so devastating in the past for her that she would make excuses and not go to someone's house if she knew they had a cat. And she wouldn't stay the night anywhere if they had a cat. And it wasn't because she was allergic. It was because she had had a trauma that had happened earlier on when she was pregnant. Somebody scared her to death about changing a cat box.
Really?
So that was huge for me. And her self-esteem improved, and her marriage improved because she felt more empowered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's some of the experiences you might have had around phobias? Because a lot of people, for whatever reason, have phobias that they don't know. They might know when they started, but they may not know why. Like I had a phobia about tight spaces, and it wasn't anything that I could attach to in this particular lifetime. And then I had a past life regression, and it was something that happened to me in another time that I brought through into this life. So what is some of the different type of traumas in that area?
Well, I've had experiences myself of working not with a phobia per se, but going back to and having memories of times that weren't of this time. And whether that's a past life, which I totally believe is possible, or whether it's a metaphor that my mind's creating, it doesn't matter. If that's the experience, that's what we work with. So quite often what happens is you go back and discover that there's been an experience, whether it be in this lifetime or a memory. There could even be a memory from your DNA that you carry forward. So whether it be a past life or a metaphor that your mind's creating, or be an experience that you're pulling up from your lineage, you work with that issue and the emotions around it, do the healing there, and it's amazing because it's almost like a domino effect. It collapses all the other triggers.
Yeah.